Can you talk just for a second so I can check your sound levels, if you don't mind?
Jim's a dick.
War. War never changes.
Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls, to War Never Changes, episode number 14. I am joined by the Hotel One himself, Philip Garbage Plate McCracken. I'm Jim, by the way, but I want to make sure, in fairness, Phil told me before, and you can go back and watch, I think episode 5 or 6.
You have to stop. You have to stop saying I'm being joined by. No, you say this is my co-host. This is my partner. This is a mutual.
Where Phil has a little meltdown because I was just announcing him as like the co-host. So he goes first, I go second. Them's the ropes, okay?
That's not true. And 9 episodes of passive aggression needs to stop.
We were texting about passive aggressiveness and how funny I think it is because I can say what I want, and I'm like, dude, you're taking it the wrong way.
You're such a lying piece of shit.
Well, the good thing is if your microphone cuts out, which hopefully it won't, just Phil disclaimer, Phil on the road, hardworking man, hardest working man in America. If the hotel cuts out, we have the backup photo, which I'll briefly show now. I'm gonna raise his back. So if we don't like him, we're just gonna mute him. We're gonna show that footage, and we're fine. Phil, for everybody at home, can you tell us what a garbage plate is, sir?
So a garbage plate is something that I've come across in my travels
Okay.
in Western New York, and it's basically a bed. It's a bed of home fries, which are kind of like. If you don't know what home fries are, I'm not going to explain it to you. A bed of home fries on one side of a styrofoam container. On the other side of the styrofoam container, there's nice cold mac salad. Then on top of that, they put 2 cheeseburgers with no buns, just the patties of meat, 2 cheeseburger patties. And they smother it in meat hot sauce, which is hot sauce with meat in it, basically. It's like chili, but with nothing but meat and liquid. And onions, chopped onions.
Wow.
Mustard and ketchup, and it's delicious.
Sounds phenomenal.
It is. It's a heart attack on a plate.
I was going to say, it sounds like heart attack on a plate or at least some light diarrhea.
Yeah, Regis Philbin had one recently, and it didn't go.
Oh, man. Regis getting shrapnel. The guy's not even cold yet. Phil, come on. Come on, Phil. You know better.
Really? After what you just said before we started
Well,
recording?
before we started recording, young man, is between you, me, and my deaf dog. So she's not going to say. So kind of a quiet week this week in gaming news, but there's a few things I thought we could discuss, and we could even, posture into a little bit of what we've been playing. Some of these shows, to me, are some of the more fun ones to do because we could just shoot the crap and talk about whatever we want to talk about. But there are a couple news items that are slowly trickling to the surface that are starting to gain some traction. I thought we'd talk about those. Today was the second look at the Avengers game coming up. And I think I've asked you about this before, but you said you don't care? Is that right?
You asked me to go look at it, and I forgot, and I didn't know that anything was happening today, so I didn't. I was like, usually I'll have an oh shit moment, like, oh my god, I need to go look at the first thing so I could know what's going on in the second thing. Yeah. So in short, no, I didn't care enough to look at it.
Fair enough. That's fair enough. The Avengers game has been under a lot of scrutiny because we're not really sure what it is. It's a games as a service, maybe. It's a single player game, but it's got multiplayer elements. The character models look a little wonky. So not really quite sure if this is going to be the game everybody wants it to be. But they did announce Hawkeye today, which is, to me, probably one of the cooler Avengers. Would you agree with that at least?
Would I agree that Hawkeye is one of the cooler Avengers? No. But in typical Jim fashion, you've chosen one of the lamest, if not the lamest Avenger to paint as one of the cooler Avengers. You've got a guy that has a cybernetic suit that adjusts to everything his body does. You've got a guy who can literally control the weather and make lightning strike people, and then a guy who's really accurate with a bow and arrow, and you're like, he's the coolest. Shut up, Jim. I love Jeremy Renner. I love him so much.
I don't care about the actor. I just thought it was cool. I mean, in the same way that I think Batman and Iron Man are cool. I know Batman's not part of the Avengers. And the fact that he's just a guy. He's just out there. You know, the superheroes in here, Phil. It's not all these powers and lasers. It's the heart of the champion. And he's out there fighting next to Hulk and Captain America, these genetically augmented people, shooting bows and arrows and just wrecking shit. It's pretty cool. I think it's kind of neat.
It's not a Far Cry Primal bow and arrow. It's the most badass, technologically advanced bow and arrow that you've never seen or heard of. It's got all these crazy tips, which basically shoot lasers and explosives. So you're just contradicting yourself all over the place, dude.
Well, he's out there trying, okay? So if you're a fan, they're like, hey, we're like, like, hey, we built this really cool ship. It's got 6 seats or whatever, and like one guy's short. Hey, you, come here. What do you do? Here, take this bow and arrow and go up there and shoot some shit. Okay. And thus, Hawkeye was born. So that's kind of exciting news that they're announcing. This will be free DLC after the main game comes out. There's been a lot of talks in terms of how they're going to drip feed content, but as of right now, it sounds like they're giving a lot of free stuff away. So I think that's a win for gamers if you want to play the game. I don't know. I'm kind of like maybe on it. There's a lot of other good stuff coming out, and I don't feel like I have to rush out and get it. But it's exciting that at least we're getting more content. I'll take that any day of the week.
Yeah. No, it's cool that they're gonna, make the Avengers characters and put them in an Avengers game. That's nice. It's nice that it's gonna be free DLC. Just put them in the fucking game.
Isn't it true?
You start the show off. You're like, we don't know what this game is going to be. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. It's a fucking another avenue for Bob Iger and the folks over Kevin Feige or Feige or whatever his name is over at Marvel
That
Studios
bastard.
to be like, oh, we've got this incredibly valuable IP. What should we do with it? Nah, fucking make a video game. People will throw $60 at it. That's what it is. It's a way to make money. That's all it is.
Don't you think the development team is like, we need to bring Marvel to the game universe? It's time.
No, because they didn't shell out money for RDJ to voice Iron Man.
That's a really good point. Okay. I mean, it's not like everything has to be a fan service. I do agree with you, though. I think it's going to be incredibly odd to play an Iron Man game that isn't voiced by Robert Downey Jr. or any of them, really, like Chris Evans. Those are the only 2 actors I know. But all the other ones, I feel like... Oh, and Jeremy Renner, of course. The true star of the show. I feel like... You are right, though, because they're so iconic. And we see this issue a lot with these games that are ported over from popular culture, that they just don't get the likeness or the voice actor. And it's like, okay, you kind of act like Iron Man, but you are not Iron Man.
Yeah. And you know what? Marvel Studios already has so much of his audio recorded. Like, they can take... I remember back in... When was that show out? It doesn't matter. Back in like 2007 or 2008, they were able to take Jerry Seinfeld on NBC and randomly insert him and his body and audio into different shows based on some shitty old recordings they had from the 80s or early 90s. They can't just take some sound samples from RDJ from the movies and throw it into the game.
What would make it even better is if it was like really crappily edited. So he's like, "Let's go there." It's like the inflection's wrong and like random syllables have like an explosion behind them. Like, look out! And as he's saying out, it's like, and then it just immediately cuts off. You'd be like hobo Iron Man. It's like, those kids, the PlayStation 4, the 5, whatever. Nope. I don't know. You might be right. That is a good point. I didn't think of it that way. But I'm excited to see what happens. This game is under a significant criticism because people expect, like you, they want the movie, they want a good experience, and this isn't necessarily lining up to be that. Could it be fun in its own right? Maybe, but they have such a tall order to match that I don't know if it's possible. Just the movies were so popular and the characters so iconic. It's going to be hard to match that for sure.
Do you remember Superman for Nintendo
Oh
64? Do
my
you remember that?
God, yes. I didn't
Do we
buy
need to
it.
talk
Oh,
about?
did you buy it?
Of course I did. It was a Superman game. I didn't know. I was like 8.
And you got home and you're like, shit.
This is trash.
Mom! Oh, Philip, we got you Superman. Oh, this game sucks. What'd you
Why do you
say?
make my mom sound like Fran Drescher?
Everybody's mom. I make my mom sound like some just really yenting it up, and my mom doesn't speak anything like that. But she's like, Jimmy, this is your mother. She doesn't talk like that, but in my head, that's how she talks. So I can imagine you playing Superman, and your mom comes in, and she yells at you, and you cuss. And she's like, what'd you say? And you're like, I said shoot, Mom. I said shoot. That's right. All right. Moving on from Phil's mom. I love it. Don't laugh. If you laugh, listen, let me just tell you right now. If you laugh,
Trust me, I will not laugh.
it's going to all go downhill from here, okay? You have to be the emotional rock because I have the giggles now, and it's just going to get worse. So you need to keep that sternness going. Moving on. PlayStation news, the greatest console of all time, even though it's not.
Suck.
That's not
Terrible.
is where the development kits supposedly have been sent out. The final build with the final UI, which would indicate that PlayStation's final announcement on this is imminent. So I think we are very, very close to seeing another state of play. I've heard a lot of rumors that it's coming next week, maybe the week after. The big follow-up to Microsoft, the round 2 of whatever they didn't show off the user interface, show the price, show everything about it. What do you think? You think it's time, or do you think they need to wait it out a little bit more?
I think, considering your childhood, that it's surprising that you're able to say the phrase state of play so easily, considering that every time you heard that between the ages of 9 and 12, it involved your mom, the living room, and a doll.
Jeez. Wow. Damn.
Show me where Uncle Bad Touch touched you, little Jimmy.
Wow.
Jimothy.
Wow. Okay.
Holy,
Well,
my food's like almost here already. Usually it takes an hour. That was like 6 minutes.
if you need to go, we could always jump cut, man. You tell me when you gotta go.
Nah, they'll knock and then we'll figure it out.
I'm excited for this UI stuff. I think this is really cool. Hopefully, you open the door. Just pro tip: just turn the handle, the little silver thing, and then the food will be in the room.
This is gonna be a Chit Show episode where it's you talking for the second half and me eating Arby's.
War Never Changes, episode 14. What the fuck? Yeah, so I'm really excited about this. I have kind of two schools of thoughts. I think most people do. Option A is Sony does nothing because Microsoft is clearly tripping over themselves repeatedly. Option B is Sony says, oh, wait, there's more. Here's gameplay of Spider-Man. Here's gameplay of Ratchet and Clank. We're working on a new God of War. Here's what the UI looks like. And they just grind them down even harder than they've already done so. I could see it both ways.
I don't think that that's necessary at this point. Sony is so solidly in the lead; it doesn't matter at this point. At this point, I want them to leave something to be desired. I want the supermodel that is Sony to keep her bathing suit on for just a little while longer. I want to get it home and take off the bathing suit, so to speak. Wow, that got really sexual. I'm sorry.
Sexual chocolate over here. I want to unbox my PlayStation. Put on some Barry Manilow or whatever.
It's going to be on camera.
Yep. I think, to me, I think if they have more to show, they should show it. I think there are, as much as I loved State of Play version 1, and we ranted and raved about it, and I came on here and said, I'm 100% a Sony pony. This is what I needed in my life. There are still detractors out there who say, show me the games, show me Spider-Man, show me more. Don't show me trailers. Show me actual gameplay. Convince me this isn't some crap DLC. Convince me this is a fully fledged game. I don't want to read a tweet from Insomniac. I want to see it. And I feel like, not that they need to, but I feel like they're going to say something else. And I feel like they might as well do one more thing, strike while the iron's hot, and just, hey, this is your final announcement. You're not going to see us anymore. We're releasing the console after this.
Yeah, I don't think that they need to do that, but I also know that you don't do well with the concept of delayed gratification. So
That's true.
I can definitely see your point, and that's totally valid. But I think that Sony has more than proved themselves. If they just want to like do a little, hey, here's like a 2 minute teaser or something, and by the way, pre-order starts now. Run for your computer, run.
Could be.
And then and you know what, the pre-order in and of itself, the action of clicking that mouse and saying, wow, I just pre-ordered the next generation of this console, it's gonna send shivers down my spine. I don't mean to be overly dramatic, but I know how I'll feel because I felt
totally.
that last. And then that excitement of, I know I'm getting one, I got in on the first round of pre-orders, I'm stoked. They can keep some stuff under cuff. They can let the people who are going to buy it anyway buy it because supposedly it's going to be in limited quantity. So the detractors and naysayers who want to wait are going to wait anyway. The people who want it are going to buy it. That excitement's going to carry me through. So I don't need too much more from them. But
Fair enough.
I know that you're a bro, and it's good for this show if they announce more because it gives us more stuff to talk about.
I also think, I do agree with you. I think there are some things that they could just kind of leave to. Oh, Phil's going to get his food. Phil's leaving. Phil has left. I'm going to keep going. I don't need Phil here. We're going to do this. Watch this. Bye, Phil. Boom. There we go. For me, I do agree. I think that the reality is there are some things that are left to be desired, and there is a definite excitement when it comes to pre-ordering and the hype that goes into this. I also think that, this is a competition. And is Phil back yet? Nope. I think this is also a competition, and at the same time, as much goodwill and such as Microsoft has built up, I feel like PlayStation owes it to their fan base and to their stockholders to say, look, like, we're not done yet. We feel like we've won, but we're not necessarily resting on our laurels. We're going to keep going.
That'd likely be the smart thing to do, in all honesty.
All right, now do you want to take a break and eat, or do you want to power through?
I think we should take a quick 10-minute break and let me wolf this down, and I'll be back.
All right, we're jump cutting right now. Bam! We are back from the magic of jump cuts. Phil has eaten his Arby's. Good, I'm glad. What we were talking about was the PlayStation announcements, and I think we both agree that there are merits in both releasing more or releasing later. One of the things I'm really excited about, and I don't care when I get it, but I'm really, really excited for it personally, is seeing the new PlayStation user interface. Does that do anything for you just in general? Do you care about that? Is that something you, or no?
No, I care about that. I'm excited to see what it looks like.
I have always been a really big fan of the cross media bar, as they call it. I always thought that was a really clever way for them to show off all of their tech and for a nice, crisp presentation of the game. Very easy to navigate what I wanted to. There are a lot of detractors in the cross media bar. People are more fans of the tile-based stuff that Xbox does. And I know you're an Xbox guy, maybe slowly converting you over to the PlayStation side, but what are your thoughts on the Xbox user interface? Do you like that?
I do. I do. I like them both.
The thing I don't like about the Xbox user interface, and again, fairness, in fairness, I'm a PlayStation guy. I feel like there's too much going on. It's too much clutter. There's like 90 things open at once, and there's ads, and it's a lot to take in.
Well, I'm not an idiot, so I can just look at a thing and say, oh, that's the thing I want to use. Let me click on that and not be like, oh my God, there's 11 squares. What do I do?
It's not clean. I mean, look, I do the best I can with my very limited little budget of trying to make our podcast look nice. I try to make all the squares nice and even. I try to equidistant us from the frames, the borders on the side around our pictures. That's important to me. Maybe it's OCD. But But I feel like with tiles, there's too much stuff that I don't care about. And I just want it to be like a big button that's like play the game. And I just want to press that, maybe a nice wallpaper off on the side. That's all I need. I don't need you to remind me that there's a Game Pass promotion going on or to check out the store or here's new content dropping for a game. I'll manage that on my own. I don't need them to tell me.
Okay. So you want them to detract from their level of service just because you have your shit together. You want everyone else's experience to be weakened.
Yes, because I know what's best for everyone else. In all fairness, listen here, Arby's. In all fairness, I'll tell you, I'll tell you what. In all fairness to me and to everyone else, I think a lot of people aren't necessarily happy with what Xbox does. It's sometimes hard to navigate to get to the store go do an experiment tonight. When you're done, when we're done recording, and I know you're going to jump back into some games later tonight. Before you do, see how long it takes you to redeem a code in the store. See how long it takes you to open up Game Pass and see every possible game you could download. It's like 50 clicks.
No, it's not.
I'm not talking
There's a
about
button right on the home menu for Game Pass now.
There is. You navigate down, and there's a thing that says Game Pass, and it takes you to a pre-curated list of things they want you to see. But see how long.
Holy shit! You're right. I had to move my joystick 2 knocks down to Game Pass. Then I had to knock it down once more to hit Show All. Shut the fuck up.
Boy, you must have got like extra mean sauce with your Arby's. I thought some food would calm your ass down.
I feel a little zesty.
It's just riling you up. Listen, I get what you're saying, but you're wrong. It's too much. And they really, listen, do you remember this? They promoted this wallpaper achievement system that when you unlock certain achievements, they would give you wallpapers. Do you remember that?
I don't remember it, but it never fucking happened. I can tell you that.
It did happen, but you couldn't see them because they put so much shit on the screen, and they abandoned it. Exactly.
Did you hear that?
I win.
That was the sound of nobody giving a single fucking shit.
That's me winning.
That's the sound of no one caring.
One of the things that I like, and this is my last piece on UI, I will move on. One of the things I like about getting a new device, whether it's a new console, a new PlayStation, new operating system, I like to see new exciting things. The fact that Xbox is committing to the same, in my opinion, crappy user interface, it's going to be the same for the Xbox One as it is for the Series X. You say, hey, I like it, don't change anything. I say a fresh coat of paint never hurt anybody.
Unless it was lead paint.
It's true, like the Tin Man in Wizard of Oz. Guy got fucking bodied.
I'm fine. You know, I'm not an imbecile, so I can navigate either.
Your whole argument bases on belittling me, which is fine. Listen. It's fine. I'm just saying that I think most people would agree that the Xbox user interface sucks.
I don't think that that's true. I don't think most people would say that. I think most people would say, what are you talking about?
Moving on to other apologetic Xbox staff members. This is a great segue. 343 Industries took to Twitter after their panning of Halo Infinite, which, by the way, I was not a fan of the grappling hook, but I'm happy for it. And the new meme was started. They have that zoom in of that one brute, and they're calling him Craig. Which was actually named by Brian Gerard, who's the community manager of Halo. He goes by Sketch. I've met him, really cool guy. He actually came up with the name Craig. So now Craig the Brute is a meme, and they're photoshopping him on everything. Just that, you know, the face is like right before the Master Chief's about to blast him in the face with the barrel of a gun. He's just got this really dopey, low-res, very poor colored, pixelized face. He's everywhere. He's on Reddit. He's on Twitter. He's on Twitch. He is the face, unfortunately, of Halo. Well, a lot of people were extremely upset, took to Twitter, bashing it, and I've seen a lot of hate for this. It did two things for me. One, I got a video loading. It actually might be live now. I pre-recorded a video earlier talking about how much I love Halo. Also got me rocking the Property of You and SC shirt because I want to represent Halo. But 343 Industries took to Twitter and started defending their game, saying, "We hear you. We're sorry. We're gonna make this better." I don't think they have enough time to do this. This game is shipping in like 4 months, 3 months, whenever this thing comes out. What we get is what we get. What do you think?
I have some strong criticism that I'm going to keep to myself until I play the game. 343 has given us years of fun and happiness, and although they have an obligation when they sell us something new for a full price to deliver a full price worthy product, I'm going to give them a semi pass here, and I'll reserve my judgment until I see the final product.
That's very
But,
mature of you.
I'm pretty already wound up from the last conversation. So if I start unscrewing that cork, I'm not going to shut up.
A kinder,
is going to
gentler.
notice us for the wrong reasons.
Well, I'll tell you what. The question that is constantly asked in so many various iterations is, what have you guys been working on for so long? Yes, the Master Chief Collection came out. It was largely a subcontracted job. Yes, it's largely so. Very good, Phil. Phil can count to one, everyone. Let's hear it for Phil. Very good, very good. You show him promise. 343 really, they farmed out the Master Chief Collection. It was an absolute abysmal disaster. In fairness, they have really rebuilt that game. We're going to talk about that in a little bit and what we've been playing. But needless to say, the Master Chief Collection gets my seal of approval. I love it. The question is, I know they haven't had a full-time staff on there. Clearly, they've been working on Infinite. They've developed some of it. We've seen gameplay of it, but it doesn't seem like to be enough. It doesn't seem like it's really utilizing the Series X. Some people have said it's because they're being held back by the Xbox One, whatever. But it's really not that ooh-ah moment we wanted. And as the dust settles and we're now a week removed from the big reveal, gotta admit, man, it's not looking good for Halo.
I think that being held back by the Xbox One thing is bullshit. The Xbox One is an extremely powerful console. It can run decent graphics. We don't have to have Craig looking like a Craig. It doesn't have to be like
Poor
this.
Craig, man. God, poor Craig.
And this is where the rant is going to stop here because I can already feel myself spiraling out of control.
Are you mad at the naysayers or are you mad at 343 without losing your Arby's?
I am mad at both.
Okay.
I'm mad at the people who are jumping to conclusions because 343, they've given us how many solid games now? Like, they pull through at the end.
Halo 4, Halo 5, which you could argue people hated. I loved it. I love the multiplayer, and Master Chief Collection. So three games under their watch. Well, I guess you could argue, no, I should be fair. They did work on Halo Wars as well, which most people probably ever played, except me.
But whatever. I think that they deserve a chance to redeem themselves, but I also think that they need to do the right thing, and they need to put their best foot forward. And what they do is ultimately going to affect the outcome of the launch of this console. Because if Halo tanks, this console has absolutely no chance. And this is something that Xbox has screwed up royally, really, really, really bad. They've got their flagship franchise, which is Halo, which is fine, but they should have had one or two other big names out there ready to go. This is not the time for us to hear about Forza Motorsport way down the road. This is not the time to hear about, well, Gears 5 is relatively new. This is not the time for that. It's
Right.
not.
I agree.
They have billions of dollars on the line, and it's not going to happen for them. And if Halo tanks or they have to pull a CD Projekt Red, I don't know what's going to happen, and I need to stop. I can feel myself.
I'll say that, to me, I agree with you. It's okay to put all your eggs in one basket if you know that that's going to be a home run. And launches in general with consoles, as we've talked about on this show in the past, have been relatively weak. That's just the nature of a console launch. If you're going to put a game together in the box or you're going to sell it at launch to be played exclusively on a piece of hardware, it has to be that oh my god moment. And with all of the other crap and all the other distractions that Xbox is dealing with right now, this is definitely one that is really an unforced error in my opinion. And it does worry me. I mean, I know I'm going to love it because I love Halo. I'm still playing Halo 3. The game's like 15 years old. I'm still playing it. It's like crack. It's all I play now. So much so I haven't even played Ghost of Tsushima, whatever. I haven't played that shit in over a week because I'm playing Halo. And I'm like, my wife's like, why are you not playing the new game? And I'm like, because I'm playing Halo. She's like, wait, the same Halo that you played like 10 years ago? I'm like, the same one. So it's magical to me. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to play it. But I do agree with you. And it worries me that they're tent pole, they're big, this is what we want you to come see, has so many issues. And I'm starting to see bubblings of issues rise. And one person saying one thing and another person saying another from the same company. And it was run on PC, it was run on console, it's an old build, it's a new build. It starts to, like, you get your story together, there's nothing to lie about. But when you start having these little cracks, people got nothing to do. I mean, I've been locked in this house for a couple months now. We start dissecting these things, and it's like, there might be something wrong here. So I'm with you, man. I'm excited. I'm playing it on PC. I can't wait for it. I'm day one. I'm there. I'm dropping in. They got any flights or betas or whatever? I'll be there. I'll support it. I'll do video clips of it. But I might be the only one. I guess we'll find out.
No, I'll play it. We can play co-op.
Yes, which brings us to what are you playing? And this week, I want to talk about Halo. I know we talked about Halo, but I want to continue talking about Halo. And I want to talk about cooperative Halo with my boy, Phil. Now, I have never played Halo cooperatively in my life. I've always been a solo player. It was extremely refreshing to me to play Halo with somebody else who wasn't a stupid AI. And it really changed. I mean, we'll probably finish it tonight, but we have been blowing through this game at record pace. I think the first night we played, I'm going to say close to 3 hours, and we got through 7 chapters, which is insane. 6 or 7 chapters. Yes, it does pick up in difficulty at the end. When we do this grave mine level, you'll see what I'm talking about. But then you got like a warthog run level, which is like 10 minutes. It's basic. But the point is, it's really cool to play this game with somebody else. And I really missed out on that experience of this cooperative play. And it's really, really cool. And for you, you said what? What were your thoughts on... I know we're playing Halo 3 right now. We'll go back and do the other ones. But what are your thoughts on Halo 3 right now?
2 words, and I bet you can guess them. Gravity Hammer.
Gravity Hammer.
This has been, make no mistake about it, this has been a blast. We have just been, except for some weird silences last night because we were both tired, we have been giggling and laughing nonstop the whole time we've been playing. And we flew through this game. We're, I think, 2 chapters away from beating it, and then we have a total of 6 hours invested. So
if that, yeah.
It's not like we're playing on easy.
Yeah, just normal. Nothing fancy. We're not playing on legendary, which is insane. We're just playing on normal, but the game doesn't seem to scale for 2 people. I think that's probably one of the big reasons we're blowing through it so fast. But they do give you everything. Like, normally you get 1 tank, now you get 2. Normally there'd be 1 turret, now there's 2. So they did consciously think, and this is a Bungie thing, and I really appreciate Bungie for this level of thought. They added the Arbiter into all the cutscenes where he may have not been before. He has voice dialogue. The characters interact with him differently in the game, like what the Marines say when you see Chief and Arbiter running around in places where there would only be the Chief. They added more weapons, the way you spawn in on a friend when you die. It's a very clever system, and we're talking a 15-year-old game here, and they really nailed it. And it's a fresh coat of paint for me. I know you're not a huge Halo nerd. I've been boring you to death with, insane amounts of Halo lore, and I could go on even more, but it's really cool. I'm really happy we're doing this.
Yeah, same here. You know what I really appreciate? about Bungie. They were smart enough to recognize that when you die, they shouldn't spawn you into the middle of a firefight.
It's true.
You sit there until the area is clear. So it's on your partner to clear it out a little bit, but you can't come back until it's safe.
It's
And
true.
that may seem frustrating and annoying, but you know what's more frustrating and annoying? Getting spawn killed over and over and over again.
Good old shipment.
Yeah. This is something that Bungie figured out 15 years ago that Activision's like, no,
Nope, we're not going to let you. We're going to spawn you in the closest we possibly can to an airstrike. Wherever the airstrike is, we're going to put you in the geographic center. And it's going to be physically impossible for you to outrun it in any direction. Yeah, you're right. What I like about Halo and what will always be near and dear to my heart, and something that is really fun with Halo, is that it's just a very simple, fun game to play. It has layers of complexity if you want them. If you don't, it doesn't matter. Just go in this direction and shoot anything that shoots you. Or you have this other piece of it that's this deep dive, and that's, to me, that's where it really is a lot of fun. And I think Phil vanished. Phil. Oh, we're reconnecting. Hold on. If Phil's back, welcome back.
That was weird.
That's okay. You disconnected. Your face froze, and I didn't know if you were so bored by what I was saying or not, because you were just like, and I was like, oh, I'll just keep talking. I don't know, but yeah. So that's what I've been. That was my contribution is to Halo, and playing and the new. I say new. It's new to me. They've added in new content inside a Master Chief Collection, a new leveling system, using tokens to upgrade your character, a la Battle Pass, whatever. And it just feels like no matter what you do and how you play, you're going to have fun. So I could talk about Halo for 6 hours, so I'm going to stop, and I'm going to ask you what you've been playing.
So I've been playing Halo 3 with you cooperatively, as we've been talking about. I've been your sniper / gravity hammer guy.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've really taken the position of co-pilot because you are so knowledgeable of these levels. You're like, no, it's up here. It's over here. No, over here, over here. So I'm just like following you at this point and shooting at things. And you could see at the end, like the score, like Jim killed 74 enemies. Phil killed like 30 maybe. Because anytime I enter a room, you've already cleared half the fucking room. And like there's a gravity hammer and I just lose my mind and start killing people with the gravity hammer. So, but other than that, I wanted to take a look at Far Cry. So I started a campaign in Far Cry 3 and Far Cry 4 at the same time. And I switched back and forth doing missions and side quests because they're basically the same game, just with a different villain and in different environments. It's looting chests, skinning animals, shooting bad guys, and that's the game. Oh, and climbing something.
Yes.
A tower, usually a tower of some sort. They're geniuses. They're just like, okay, so we have this map. We're just going to put a new coat of paint on it. We're going to make it a little bit bigger, and we're going to like make the towers different somehow because the animals are always the same: bear, goat, pig, sheep. It's like there's no deviation. Some sort of large cat. It's the same thing over and over.
And you
and over
always
again.
have the mortal little ferrets or the little possum things that like don't die. Little weasels.
Yeah.
But you can't shoot them, and they just chew your ankles, and you die.
And the version of that in Far Cry 4 is a honey badger. They are
yes.
ravenous. They are ravenous.
Mortal.
But no. So I just wanted to see, I went from the Xbox 360 game to the Xbox One game, and the leap that they took in functionality, looks, smoothness of the game, AI intelligence, it's not even close. And it's funny because I kind of switched from, Xbox 360 games and I saw an Xbox One game. I was like, whoa, this is awesome. And then I was adjusted to that level. But to look at them both side by side directly like that was interesting.
Right.
It was so interesting that I got so frustrated with how bad Far Cry 3 sucked and didn't live up to my fond memories of it that after about 10 hours, I stopped playing. And
You abandoned your quest.
I've just been devoting all my time to Far Cry 4, and I'm going to 100% this thing.
So I think back to the launch of Far Cry 3, and it was really revolutionary at the time. Looking back on it, it's conflicting because I have it for PC and it still looks great. I don't know how bad or good it looks on your Xbox One. On PC, it looks phenomenal. But it's very dated in design, and you could see the beginnings of what Ubisoft was doing with their open world, and they've gotten a lot better since then. But I never found the villain particularly interesting. I never really kind of got connected to the character. I think his name was Jason. I didn't
Mhm.
really care about him. He didn't seem that interesting to me. It was fun, you're running around doing all these crazy things, but I never felt like I wanted to finish. I don't think I ever finished the game. I don't think I beat it. If I did, I don't remember it. That's how little I remember of it.
It's an interesting evolution between that game, Far Cry 4, slightly improving upon that criticism, and then to a whole new level. Because you're right, it's hard to connect with Vaz. Even Vaz is the bad guy or whatever, but you still want to have that connection. Like there needs to be a reason why I'm going to all this effort to do this shit. I could just go get a boat and leave, other than
Right.
finding my friends. Because eventually you find all your friends, and then you have to finish the job. And you're right. He's in like maybe four cutscenes. You spend a cumulative 3.5 minutes with him in the entire game. You get some phone calls or radio calls from him or whatever, but he's not a particularly interesting character. And they must have recognized that because you see Pagan Min and you hear from Pagan Min all the time.
Constantly. He's
Far Cry
constantly
4.
calling you and talking to you, and there's a lot of
Yes.
cutscenes with him. Yes.
But he's not a particularly interesting character. He's quirky. He's an
Right.
insane person, but he's not interesting. Now we transform, we move over into Far Cry 5, and you are completely engaged with the bad guys the entire time. They're not
I
just
was.
lieutenants. They are lieutenants, but they're all like their own primary bad guy in one.
Yes.
I would argue that any one of them is way more badass than Vaz. Vaz is a joke to these people. These people are fucking nutcases.
I
Um,
agree.
and they're there all the time, and they all have a distinct personality. And the guy in the north, I forget what his name is, maybe Jacob Seed. He's one of the Seed brothers, the oldest brother who's the hunter. He, man, the mind fuck that guy puts on you.
Jacob
Um,
Seed. Yep.
Jacob Seed with the like only you and sending his hunters after you.
Oh, that was good.
Like that
That's
guy
good.
haunts your dreams while you're playing that game. And he's a very interesting character. They're all very interesting. They're all very unique, and you're engaged with them all the time. And
I
I
agree.
feel like Far Cry really stepped it up in that game. And then New Dawn was kind of like, whatever.
I
There's a,
like New Dawn. I know I know we've had our disagreements on it. I agree the villains weren't that great. I love the aesthetic because I'm a Mad Max fan. So all the crazy neon, post-apocalyptic weird future stuff. And then you want to bring back Joseph Seed. I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was great the way that whole arc went.
Far Cry 5 was, I think, a 60 gigabyte game. Far Cry New Dawn was like 23. And you take from that whatever you want, bud.
Because they figured out how to get all that goodness. It's that solid state drive, Phil. They're
Oh, yeah.
squeezing it in. They're
Oh,
packing it
yeah.
in.
And they were both
Um,
$60.
I will agree with. Well, for me, they were free in 9.99, but PC Master Race. Another reason to join us. Maybe. Okay.
I'm still
You didn't
waiting
say
for you to
no.
send me that build.
Yeah. I'll say this. I do agree with you. I think Far Cry has done a very good job of evolving over the time. Not so much in their story, like the gameplay mechanics, or you said they are very samey. I think it's more of the attention to detail on the subquests and the zaniness of it all, but the way that they make their villains really pop. So I am really excited for Far Cry 6 because I don't know anything about the game, but it's just I hope that actor, I can't what's his name, Giancarlo Esposito. Oh my god, I totally butchered this poor guy's name. You know what I'm talking about? John. I'm gonna try to. I'm reading it here. Giancarlo Esposito. He is a phenomenal actor. I
Yeah.
love this guy's work. So the fact that he's in this game, I hope they use them well. I hope he's got a lot of cutscenes where he's right in your face and he's talking to you and he's crazy and he's got the crazy eyes and he's killing people and you want to just get this guy. I hope they have a really good twist with him, and I hope he's not like a Vosh who's like, "Hey man, you're gonna die and see you in 20 hours." Because that was just like so anticlimactic. It really
Yeah.
was.
You're down here at the bottom of the map. I'll be up at the top of the map. See you in 26 hours.
What is with these games with the damn go north on the map? It's always to the north. You always start in the south and work your way up to every game. Even Ghost. Ghost is the exact same way. Here's the continent. Evil bad guy here. You start down here and you gotta work your way to the north. You're 100% right. It's so stupid. That's where they got it from. Far Cry is like they've ingrained themselves in gaming evolution or whatever. It's insane.
Some intern went into a board meeting and was like, "What if we put him in the north and made him go south?" And they tossed that kid out the fucking window. He's dead. That guy Todd the intern, dead. He's gone.
If Halo has a map where you have to go north, it's gonna slightly ruin the game for me. I'm just gonna tell you right now. We'll see.
Jim, they're gonna start you at the bottom of the map. What are they gonna drop you in the middle? Like go down, then go back up, then go west and left? No, you zigzag your way up. It's the only logical thing to do, other than starting north and working your way down.
You look at Halo 3, and there's like 4 maps in that game, and you got to keep going back and forth. Go all the way to the end, and then come back.
The island of Cuba is supposedly where this is set. It's not a big island, so I don't know what they're going to do with that. It's like it's the biggest Far Cry map ever. Well, you had an entire Himalayan country.
Sure.
And you're going to try to make the island of Cuba look bigger than that. No.
You're going to spend a lot of time in some secret basement or some bizarro realm where everything is upside down, or you're drugged like they did in Far Cry 5, and you're going to play it backwards now, and all the cars are dinosaurs and the buildings have mouths. I don't know. They're going to do something crazy.
Sounds like Bug Snacks.
I watched the live performance of that on Jeff Keighley's Game Awards Twitch channel. It's stuck in my head for like the last week. I'm like, it's Bug Snacks. Can't get it out of my head. I want to claw my eyes out. I only got one good eye left, but I'm like, take it. Last thing I wanted to talk about on the agenda, and then open forum if we missed anything, was potential news on Grand Theft Auto 6. And you sent me a news article today that I read, and what was that all about, Phil?
So I think the leaker's name is Mexican, I believe. And this is the guy that accurately predicted that that the game was going to get a PS5 port. He accurately predicted like 3 things in a row. So he says that we're going to get a big update in December for Grand Theft Auto Online in its current iteration.
Right.
And that it's going to be based in New York City, and that our protagonist from Grand Theft Auto 4 is going to rejoin us, Nico Bellic.
Nico.
And we're going to go back to New York, and there's going to be a big heist, and there's going to be some stuff involving a prostitution ring. I wonder if the prostitution ring will be more biker content. I don't know. But that's supposedly going to be a few hours of gameplay in and of itself. And then supposedly we're going back to Vice City for Grand Theft Auto 6, which if that was the truth, all is forgiven, Rockstar. All is forgiven. Vice City is one of my favorite games of all time.
Oh, yeah. That was a phenomenal game. And I think everybody bought the soundtrack. Or at least had the MP3 of... yeah. You know, it's interesting because that would explain more as to why Sony opened up their press conference with a PlayStation announcement. I'm sorry, a Rockstar announcement. When they opened up their show, if you remember, everyone saw the Rockstar logo. And everyone's like, oh, this is it. And they're like, hey, you can play Grand Theft Auto on PlayStation 5. And we'll give you like funny money. But this now, when you sent me that I was like, this is it. This is why they're doing this. This is the move. They're gonna just dribble it in, and then you're gonna be like, hey, remember when we gave it for free and you said it was dumb? Not so dumb now, are we? The best place to play, PlayStation 5.
Hey, you know what, man? If I see that Rockstar logo set against black and they pan down and you see water, and then it pans up, and it's just the city skyline of Miami and palm trees, and I start hearing that music again.
You walk
Not only
along
am I
the
going to lose my
avenue.
shit and probably cry, I'll probably start crying. I'll eat my own shorts, whatever I
Wow.
have to do to
Damn.
atone, because I will just be, I'll get on Twitter and just like apologize profusely one by one to every single person that works at Rockstar North that has a Twitter account.
Wow, because I mean, a couple episodes ago, you were high on the hog on
We,
Rockstar.
we,
You made me play. I told you from the beginning, I thought it was a bad idea. But being the bro, I was there. And we went through so many nights of not playing or disconnecting or whatevering. I don't know how excited I am. I'm glad you're excited. I did enjoy Vice City as well. I thought it was a good story. I think everybody loved just the aesthetic. It was wild. It was different. It was really an era of gaming that, that 80s kind of era that we really don't see in open world games, which is cool. I love the voice acting. I love the soundtrack. Everything about it. I love 80s music in general, so that was a home run for me. But yeah, I'm with you. I think I'd give it a chance, but I don't know if they're going to fix all the other things that made us hate it time and time and time again. But I give it a chance. They have a lot of history to work with. I mean, really, you look back, I mean, even though Clyde, who was the protagonist of Grand Theft Auto 3, he never talked. CJ was phenomenal. Nico was hit and miss. But yeah, Vice City, man. Oh, that was a good story.
Tommy,
I, Tommy was fun to play as. The good voice act. I can't think of the actor's name. The voice actor who played him.
some kidding.
Tommy Vice City. His name was Tommy Vercetti, and he was voiced by. I gotta look it up now. Somebody's probably yelling right now, screaming at us. Ray Liotta. Yeah, I mean that's like the I can think of it. I'm horrible with names, so that's not a knock on Ray Liotta. That was a phenomenal story, and he's got such a distinct delivery. So it just really fits. So I'm with you. If any of this is true, I'll take it. Seeing that Rockstar logo at the beginning of the conference, I think adds a little bit more excitement to it. It's only a rumor till it's not, right?
Yeah, I if they come out with another state, Sony comes out with another state of play or
Yeah.
whatever, and we see another Rockstar logo, and it's Grand Theft Auto 6 Vice City or whatever they're gonna title it.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. And there's like if there's any sort of form of exclusivity or unique content for PlayStation, it's all over for Xbox. Calling it lock, stock, and barrel, buddy.
Yet another. This poor Xbox is demised under like 80 different circumstances. If Halo sucks, it's over. If Grand Theft Auto comes to PlayStation, it's over. If Spider-Man's good, it's over. I feel
Am I
like that.
wrong?
No, I think that's been my criticism of this the whole time. Like you got to bring it, and it blows my mind that they had so much time. I mean, we've talked about it, but like it just blows my mind they've had so much time to get it right, and they saw what happened with Don Matrick. They saw the backhanded, just the downfall of this company, and then the rise of this company, and now it's just like do something about it. So I hope so. It's all a rumor till it's not. I can't imagine Rockstar is not going to bring it to everywhere, but yeah, if they do something a little bonus like the way Destiny did for PlayStation, hey, give us a little bit, give us some money for advertisement, and we'll throw you a skin or we'll throw you a special mission or something. That's a big draw, man. It's a big draw.
Couldn't agree more.
We'll see. Well, Phil, I'm looking at the time. I think we've said it all.
At least for this week.
I mean, maybe next week there'll be more exciting news. I during your Arby's intermission, I did inject a hilarious intro, which I've already seen because I've edited it. You'll see it later. So, as all these shows go, it's time for you to say farewell. And I hope, no pressure, every week you say you're going to think and you're going to refine and tweak this beautiful, beautiful ending. And I'm going to turn it over to you, sir, and you could send us out.
as it has been for every week. I've said that I'm going to do something better and come up with something clever. I didn't. And just like that never changes, war never changes, Jim.